Hey there, welcome to Old Man Runner. In today's video, I'm going to compare this, the Nike Zoom Air Alphafly Next Percent, to this, the Asics Metaspeed Sky. I'm going to go through a range of criteria, then I'm going to run in the park and review the data, and finally, I'm going to decide which one to pick for my next marathon. I'm trying to pick the fastest shoe I have to run a marathon in the dry. I know that the Alphafly and the Metaspeed Sky are my two quickest shoes. I know that, I've tested, they're my quickest shoes. The question is, which is the quickest and the best one for me to run the marathon in? I've reviewed both in separate videos, and I'll link those at the end. You can look in detail, me running around and all the usual stuff. A lot more specifications and details in each shoe. But in this particular video, I'm just trying to do a quick comparison of the two shoes and then get some data from my gut-busting 1K time trials around the park. This is the heavier shoe. This weighs 271 grams in the left shoe and 9.55 ounces, or in the right shoe, 280 grams and 9.85 ounces. And this one is ever so slightly lighter. It's 242 in my left shoe in terms of grams, 8.55 ounces, 235 grams in the right, this shoe, and 8.45 ounces. So not a huge amount of difference, but some. The big difference in the two shoes in terms of the weight and size is that there's a lot more foam in this. This one has a taller stack height. It's 39 millimeters versus 33 for the Asics, and the drop is about the same. It's 4 millimeters in this, 5 millimeters in the Asics. This is the tallest stack and lowest drop shoe that I currently run in. The two shoes are ostensibly the same size. I mean, they're both a US 13, they're both a UK 12, but the Nike, for some reason, is a 47.5 EU, whereas the Asics is a 48. How all that works, I've been through it a few other videos. I have no idea. But this is a much longer shoe physically. I mean, if I line the two up and trying to do it this way, you know, you can see it's longer. It protrudes much further at the back. It's also much taller. So if I kind of do the same thing again, it's a much taller shoe. I know there's a taller stack height, but it's also taller up the back of the Achilles. So a sort of bigger shoe overall. The shoes, in terms of their uppers, I don't have a huge preference for either. I like the booty of the Nike. It's a more traditional tongue system in the Asics. They're both very breathable. This is more stretchy. The Atom Knit on the Nike is more stretchable. This is a sort of non-stretchy sort of, I think it's recycled. It's a plastic. It's a nice material, but it doesn't gather that well. It's pretty much it's pretty taut when you pull it. Hard to know which one's more durable in terms of the upper. I'm guessing my toenails will go through this, but look, the base will probably wear out before that happens. In terms of the feel, I much prefer the feel of the Asics. I really like the feel of this shoe. When you run in it, it has a tendency to want you to pitch forward, which I think helps in its speed. So I much prefer the feel of this. This one feels squelchy, and boy does it make a sound. God, it's squelch, 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 which I really don't go for. So if you were asking me which one I'd actually just prefer to run in, I'd much prefer to just go running in this shoe. But that's not what we're here for today. In terms of the cost, the Nike is as close to €300, $275, £260. The Asics is much simpler. There's no 99-cent stuff with Asics. It's €250 on the nail, $250 or £225. But as I said in previous videos, I got discounts on both of them by signing up to Asics One member or One, whatever it is, and Nike's whatever they've got. Sign up to those and they have regular discounts and birthday stuff and all the usual stuff. So they're cheaper than their list price in terms of how I got and paid for them. It's hard to know which of the shoes will last longer, but what I've noticed with the Asics, it's also the same. I reviewed the Edge as well, which is it's stablemate. It wears badly here. There's probably at 30-40k in these at this stage, but it wears badly here, as does the Edge. I have a pair of Nike or of New Balance Fresh Foam Fuel Cell Elite version 1, and in that shoe, this more durable piece comes around here. and so it's more durable. It's also the shoe I will run in if it's wet, because in terms of traction, these don't have magnificent traction. These don't either, apart from the one giant lug. They don't have amazing traction in the wet, whereas I think the New Balance will. But it's dry conditions forecast, so I'm going to run in one of these two shoes. Of course, in order to evaluate the shoe, I need to find out its performance. Against the radar gun, in what I call my running gun, it's 24 kilometers out of both shoes, or 14.91 miles an hour. But I wanted to see over a longer distance. I can't run back-to-back marathons much as I'd like, so I need to figure out some other test. I started to test the shoes in the local park on my 1 kilometer time trial, which is a lap of the park that I call my gut busters. I mean, I really am going for it. I'm not just hanging back. I'm kind of going as fast as I can in the shoes. But even that, I get some data back. It's still an educated guess. There's a small sample size. The lab rat is old, and there's a lot of gut feeling as well as gut busting going on. So with that sort of in mind, let's take a look at the data. Now, before we look at the data, I should point out, as you probably can imagine, I've got I'm now testing this Garmin. This is a Garmin Forerunner 55. I'm also testing it against a Chorus Pace 2 and comparing them with the Apple Watch and the Stride Footpod. So I've got a lot of data going on. So this data all came from the Garmin system, and what I'm trying to get across is that it's all relative rather than absolute. One is relative to the other. I might run different times on different days, feel better, weather better, humidity, all that kind of stuff. So this is back-to-back runs on a Saturday and a Sunday morning. So I get up on a Saturday and Sunday morning. I typically take the dog to the beach, walk for about 1 kilometer to just loosen things up, then go to the park, and then I run 1 kilometer easy in the Clifton 7. I do that on a Saturday morning, I do it on a Sunday morning to try both easy, and then I get an idea of whether I'm kind of feeling faster on Saturday or Sunday, because I think that impacts a little bit. And then I run in the two shoes. So on Saturday I went out first in the Alphafly and then in the Metaspeed Sky, and the following day I went out, flipped it around. And then you can put the two sets of data together and get an average. That's kind of how I do, because what I've noticed is that there's a significant drop off in the second run on each day in any particular shoe. So you got to go out in the first run first for each of the shoes to find the fastest time, and then you're trying to evaluate that over what's the fastest day. So the Nike, I did it in 3 minutes 53 seconds, and then 3 minutes 57 seconds, and then in the Asics, I did it in 4 minutes the first day on the second run, and then 3 minutes 48 seconds on the first run. Now, when you stick all those seconds together and divide them by 2, there's a kind of 1 second overall advantage to the Alphafly, but the Metaspeed was the fastest individual lap at 3:48, significantly on the Sunday. And then, so there's not much to choose from in that. So I'm always interested in the cadence and the stride length, particularly the stride length. And in the best laps in the Asics, I did 198 steps per minute, and I had a stride length of 1.33 meters. And then in the Nike, I had 189 steps per minute and a stride length of 1.37 meters, which is significant on average. If I can average up the length of the stride, I think I can possibly go a little bit quicker. Time will tell. Decision time. I got to pick one of these. I mean, I can't run in one on one foot and one on the other foot. The stack height alone will kill me if I do that. So the fastest lap, fastest kilometer I did in the Sky, but the longest stride was in the Alphafly. So bit 6 of 1 there for me. Crucially, the Sky is a lighter shoe, and I think that would help in the long run. I don't particularly like the high stack height of low drop of the Alphafly. That is, I think, as I get tired at the end of a marathon, that I've snagged a couple of times in when I'm wearing tall shoes, or tall stack height shoes. So that worries me a little bit. I much prefer the feel of the Asics. I love the feeling of it as I'm running along. I tend to sink down into the Nike shoe a little bit more, and of course the number one criterion is, God, these squelch. They go squelch, 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 and over 42.2 kilometers or whatever. I think that's going to drive Paul mad. I'm running a marathon with my friend Paul. I think it's going to drive him bonkers. But anyway, you'll have to run a bit quicker. Get away from me. Anyway, I think that'll drive Paul mad. So let's now look at which one am I actually going to run in. So if I was only running in one marathon, I'd pick the Asics. It's fast and it's fun. I will be running a marathon in this Asics shoe. I'm doing Chicago or I'm supposed to do Chicago in October. I'm fully vaccinated, but who knows about visas and deltas and all this sort of stuff. But assuming that happens, I'll be running in Chicago, and I think this is a cracking shoe to run that marathon in. I'll happily run that marathon in, but I'm not running that marathon first. I'm running one on Monday. I'm running the Old Rail Trail, which looks fantastic. It's between two towns in Ireland, Athlone and Mullingar, and I don't know whether we're going Athlone to Mullingar or Mullingar to Athlone. It'll depend on the wind. Have a look at windy.com. And we're running at 7 a.m. in the morning, which is perfect for the Alphafly because no one's going to see us. Be so early. And I can't, there's no way I'm going to be standing up in a line in Chicago wearing one of these and then plodding around the course while everybody looks and listens to some old duffer in a pair of Alphaflys. They mightn't see us coming. They certainly hear us coming. But they're the ones I'm gonna wear these out on the Old Rail Trail where almost nobody will notice except for the loud noise. So sorry, Paul. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you did, it'd be great if you hit the like button. As always, I'll put lots of stuff in the description below, and I love answering any questions that you pop into the comments. There'll be a blue subscribe button popping up there and some related videos there. Thanks for watching. Until the next video, just keep running along.